So there's a lot of depictions of mental illness in the media, but the majority of the time the media does not portray it correctly. In fact, they often, people in Hollywood and stuff, they often spread misinformation about mental illness in a really horrible way to put mental illness in a negative light. But I'm going to rank multiple movies, and I basically picked out movies and TV shows that, in my opinion, show mental illness in a very accurate way. So, yeah, that's what today's video is. I want to do more videos of reviewing media, like movies and TV and games again. And keep in mind, not all the media shown has a confirmed canon mental illness, but it does depict symptoms of mental illness. Basically, this video is just me diagnosing random characters with mental illnesses or learning disabilities or whatever, just any emotional disorder. Here's a massive disclaimer though. I am not a doctor, I am not a psychiatrist or a therapist. I'm just a person who has a special interest in psychiatry. So yeah, I
didn't lose her! They took her!
Here's about the divorce. Who's sorry?
She was there for me, not the enforcer.
Remember her name?
Why would I remember her name? Oh, she's just some stupid topsider. Caitlin.
So what kind of mental illnesses do I think are in Arcane and represented in Arcane? Well, here's some diagnoses I've already said I think Jinx may have, which what I believe that she may have is depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, and I do think there could be some very mild signs of autism in Jinx, and not many people understand why I headcanon Jinx as autistic. Well, some of the symptoms she displays includes a lack of empathy, impulse control issues, hyperactivity, hyperfixations, also known as special interests, sensory perception differences such as a heightened sensitivity to loud noises. You could clearly tell that Jinx is able to hear noises 10 times more than the average person. And sensory distortions are also a symptom of autism, as well as schizophrenia. The symptoms of schizophrenia Jinx has is hearing voices, delusions, hallucinations, paranoia, extreme abandonment issues, and also extreme irritability, and also emotional detachment from people, anxiety, depression, and extreme mood swings. Symptoms of BPD that I think Jinx has is extreme attachment to other people, obsessive over other people, extreme mood swings, extreme depression, extreme mania, self-harm tendencies, impulse control issues, and also the lack of understanding of consequences and different decisions and consequences and stuff. And also childlike mannerisms, but also being very mature at the same time. And obviously you all know that Jinx displays some alarming signs of depression, such as impulse control issues, extreme low moods, sadness, depression, anger. Yes, anger is a symptom of depression. I have that symptom of depression to a very extreme degree, because when I'm depressed, I tend to also be very angry at the same time. Again, self-harm is a symptom, and you could see in that scene that Jinx was indeed self-harming. At least in my personal opinion, she was. And depression can also include symptoms of resenting other people as well and absolutely hating other people. And I will also jump to other characters in Arcane and what mental illnesses I think they also have as well. I also just realized in the middle of recording this that I forgot to mention I also think Jinx has ADHD, given her extreme hyperactivity. Not just her hyperactivity, but like in the game League of Legends, you can clearly tell Jinx gets distracted incredibly easily. She forgets the names of things. She again takes massive risky behavior, which is very common for people with ADHD. She hates following rules, which is a very big sign of ADHD. I do also think she could have ODD, which is oppositional defiance disorder as well, which again has similar symptoms. But specifically ODD is not wanting to follow like rules of authority due to extreme traumatic experiences from what I've read about it. Again, feel free to comment down below if I got some things wrong about any of the diagnoses I speak about in this video. And if you suffer from any of these diagnoses, I would love to hear your story about your experience with them. So yeah.
From the Undercity.
I didn't do anything. She's crazy.
Easy.
She shot me.
Who shot you? Who were you working for?
I can't. He'll kill me.
Who? I can protect you.
Caitlin Kiraman. Why does that not surprise me? Interfering in an investigation again. You're supposed to be guarding your mother's tent.
I was Sheriff, but she doesn't need it, and clearly this takes priority.
I realize you're used to getting your way, Kiraman, but we have a chain of command for a reason.
I understand, but there's more going on here than just the smuggling. If I could just question him,
I'll take it from here. Since you're looking for more work, you can take the graveyard shift tonight at the fair.
So, what kind of mental illnesses do I think Caitlin Kiraman from Arcane do I think she suffers from? I honestly don't think she suffers from much, but I still believe that she could possibly like have some very mild depression and anxiety, given how near the end of Arcane she kind of looks emotionally drained, which is a very common sign of both depression and anxiety. She also appears to be in a very low mood, but also very anxious near the end of Arcane. But I also think Caitlin could also have pretty mild ADHD. I mean ADD. She has more of the ADD side of ADHD, which the symptoms I think she displays is extreme hyper-focus on different details of things. I've noticed that she's able to notice different details and things that most people can't, which is a common sign of ADD. I've also noticed that she's extremely hyper-empathetic towards those she cares about, even towards total strangers. She's willing to risk her life for a total stranger. which being hyper empathetic is also a sign of ADD. I also think there could also possibly be a bit of autism in Caitlin as well. Some symptoms include being so hyper-focused on things you're doing. Caitlin also appears to take inappropriate actions in certain social situations. Like, you could clearly tell that Caitlin did not follow the orders she was given because she wanted to do something else so badly, which is a very common sign of autism. Like, I think Caitlin has very mild impulse control issues, but nothing to the point where it hinders her life, much like how Jinx's impulse control issues clearly does hinder her life quite a lot. It makes her life harder. I do believe Caitlin is able to mask, which is another symptom of autism. I do believe she is able to make herself seem neurotypical in a non-neurotypical world.
I'm gonna have peppermint stick.
Yeah, me too. Can I just have peppermint stick?
Sure.
No, it's just called peppermint.
Peppermint dick!
Honestly.
Peppermint clit!
Okay. We're just gonna have 4 cones.
4 cones.
Susanna, do you want anything?
I'm fine.
Lisa?
Hey, Ronnie,
Yes?
you got any hot fudge?
Yes.
Yeah? Can I have a vanilla sundae with hot fudge? And sprinkles. Rainbow, not chocolate. And whipped cream, cherries, and
Nuts?
Okay. Let's have a seat, ladies.
Melvin thought that I should live in a halfway house. But my father knew that I deserved my own apartment. So he got me the prettiest apartment. It has an eat-in chicken and all this beautiful wicker furniture, and which is fantastic, wicker butterflies. And my very favorite part is that, like in the phone book, there's a sign right outside that says, if you lived here, you'd be home now.
Hello, Susanna. Do you remember me? You must remember me.
Yes, Mrs. Gilchrist. Hi.
Susanna, you okay?
I'm fine. Hey, Bonnie.
Hi.
How's Radcliffe?
Wellesley. I'm enjoying it. It's strong in art. I'm going to the Sorbonne this summer.
That's great. Wow.
You know, I know all about you, and I hope they put you away forever.
Is this the professor's wife?
what professor?
Oh, so you told everybody.
Lady, back off.
Was I talking
Mother,
to you? We have to go.
No, you were spitting on me, so mellow fucking out.
Don't you tell me what to do.
Look, she gave your husband a rim job. Big fucking deal. I'm sure he was begging for it, and I heard it was like a pencil anyway.
How dare you? How dare you?
Hey, some advice, okay? Just don't point your fucking finger at crazy people.
Let go of me. Mother.
Get that out of my face, asshole!
Okay, so, I'm gonna be very careful with the way I talk about this because this movie is very loosely based off of real things that happened. The movie I'm referring to is Girl Interrupted. It's inspired by a real woman's experience in a psych ward. So I'm gonna be very, very careful with the way I talk about this. I mean, absolutely no disrespect towards the people who actually went through these things, but I want to talk about Daisy and Lisa specifically. So obviously it is confirmed that Lisa is a sociopath. Also, well, now today it's referred as ASPD, which means antisocial personality disorder. The symptoms I've noticed that Lisa very clearly displays as hypersexual tendencies, disregarding people's well-being, disregarding people's emotional and physical well-being and safety, impulse control issues, inappropriate behavior in social situation, and defiant behavior as well. Now, a lot of people don't really talk about Daisy, which is the girl who eats only chicken in the movie. It is confirmed she has OCD, but I honestly think the diagnosis is wrong. I think she could have ARFID, which is avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, which means you are only able to eat a very small group of food due to either fear of something bad happening or finding most foods absolutely repulsive. I do believe both of those things could be a possibility for Daisy because she only survives on like meat. So I do believe she could have ARFID, which means avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, which has characteristics very similar to OCD, which a lot of people do get misdiagnosed with OCD instead of ARFID. But the symptoms she displays of ARFID is like not being interested in other foods. That's like the main thing about ARFID, is that you are not interested in trying new foods. You don't want to touch new foods. You think that most food is absolutely disgusting, basically, which I also live with ARFID, so I understand how Daisy feels. I mostly survive on cheese because I think most foods are absolutely repulsive and disgusting and all that. Excuse me. Other symptoms of ARFID include like gastrointestinal problems, which unfortunately Daisy definitely does have some gastrointestinal problems. According to the real life Daisy's story, she actually had to take a lot of laxatives just to be able to use the bathroom, which obviously her ARFID, like if she was ever diagnosed with ARFID in real life, she obviously had it to a very bad degree given the trauma she went through, that being molested by her dad. So, yeah. And I do think that she could also have some depression and anxiety because the symptoms she experiences is extreme irritability, depressive episodes, impulse control, and extreme erratic behaviors. Her anxiety symptoms include like irritability, avoiding others, self-isolation, anxiety attacks, and extremely heightened emotional state of flight or fight, basically.
So, did you serve mates? Yeah, it will. Surprise me at all. Lorraine! All the crap you take from people, I figured you had to be doing something to level yourself out. But this is extreme.
It was just a blister. I was trying to lance it.
Yeah, right. I've heard about this kind of thing.
Let me see it. Come on, I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Alright, so I personally think Dawn from Painful Secrets, this is a very underrated movie. I will do a video review of Painful Secrets soon. I already did a review of one other movie I will also talk about in this video, that being When Friendship Kills. But to basically just summarize it in a very short way, Painful Secrets is about a girl named Dawn Cottrell, like her first name's Dawn and her last name's Cottrell, and she's addicted to self-harm, and it shows her journey to eventually recovering from self-harm. However, her parents, specifically her mother, really does not make her addiction any easier to deal with because her mother constantly bullies her and puts her down. and ridicules her and also humiliates her as well in public. I don't recommend watching this movie if you get triggered by seeing actual like depictions of someone self-harming. I personally don't really watch this movie that often unless I know I'm in a okay headspace to watch it, to be honest. But personally, I believe Dawn from Painful Secrets. I believe she could be suffering some depression and anxiety, but I also think she could have schizoaffective disorder, which may explain why her cutting is so extreme, because schizoaffective disorder is a form of psychosis and a mood disorder that can cause distorted thoughts, detachment from others, lack of social skills, hallucinations, delusions. Seeking out love in the wrong ways is a very big symptom of schizoaffective disorder. And I also live with schizoaffective disorder, so these are also symptoms I relate to that I see in Dawn. Self-harm is a massive red flag for schizoaffective disorder. Erratic behaviors, impulse control issues, and also a fear of confronting people is also another like couple symptoms of schizoaffective. Seeing and hearing things that are not there, manic episodes, depressive episodes, and also like very, very typically really severe self-harm, exactly like how Dawn self-harms in this movie. But yeah, that's what I think Dawn could have is schizoaffective disorder, depression, and anxiety, and maybe a bit of autism, but I am not entirely sure she could be autistic because she doesn't really show very many traits of autism. The only main trait she has is like social awkwardness, anxiety around people, and also not really seeing red flags very easily in relationships until like it gets really bad, which I also have autism.
On the bulbs we bought today, wait a few weeks and...
Best tulips in town.
Of course.
Of course. You ever build a boat like that, Daddy?
No, that's a grain ship. Last thing we were gearing up for were icebreakers.
Daddy, when are you gonna go back to work?
Soon, I hope. What do you say we pick up some petunias?
Pansies.
Little angel faces, huh? Just like yours. Race you to the car.
Yes. Let's keep going with that one. 400 on movie quotes.
We didn't exactly believe your story, Miss O'Shaughnessy. We believed your $200.
Patrick!
Bruce. Who's the Maltese Falcon? Or what is the Maltese Falcon?
Yes?
Let's finish it out. 500, please.
Patrick!
Do you, Alice?
No more.
Martha,
No, take it.
Liza,
Come on.
Sarah, Dorcas,
Patrick!
take these men to be your husbands. Patty.
7 brides for 7 brothers.
Good for $500.
Stop it! Dad took me to see one of the ships he built today, and you missed it. I even got to steer it. Daddy!
Kelly, why do you tell her those stories? You know, it just sets her off.
Sorry. You're always lying. Shut up. Liar, liar, liar.
Girls, stop it.
Stop it!
Settle down, Nene.
I didn't want to see the stupid ship anyway. Let me my hat! Come on, catch me.
You get a shot here. Get a shot.
Alright, so the little girl in that movie, Kelly, so the little girl with like the short hair and bangs, I believe she might have PTSD because like, in the movie, she was, thankfully they did not show anything. Thank fucking God, because I was scared that they would when I read the reviews on this movie. But like, it's based it's loosely based off of a real story of a little girl who was molested by her dad. But I believe Kelly may have PTSD and depression from being molested by her dad, which is fucking nasty. But I'm glad they made the movie because it, like, spreads awareness about these kinds of, like, issues and stuff. But yeah, I definitely do believe Kelly may have PTSD and depression. I think she has more of the depression side of PTSD because you, like, don't really see her smile or laugh or anything. You just see her kind of sad throughout the whole movie. And she also has a difficulty remembering things, which is a common symptom of severe, like, PTSD. She has a difficult time following story from beginning to end. Again, another common sign of PTSD. Extreme anger, confusion, fear, a lot of the symptoms of PTSD that she has, pretty much almost all of them. The only ones that I don't really see depicted is, like, nightmares, flashbacks, and bedwetting, and that's it. But yeah, I definitely do believe Kelly could have some very serious PTSD from what she's gone through.
Why can't I ever dream about food? Yeah. Hey, I have found a recipe. Oh, buy the ingredients. Let's make it if you're free.
That's...
Alright, B from B and Puppy Cat. I believe B could have some autism and ADHD. Some autism. Have autism and ADHD. B has been, like, excuse me. The signs that B shows for autism is stimming. Specifically, she often jumps around and makes random verbal noises in the show. So, I do believe that's some verbal and physical stimming. She also has a difficult time understanding social situations. She has a childlike personality, which is very common for autistic people. And as for the ADHD, she tends to be very hyperactive in the show and has a difficult time keeping her attention on one thing at a time. So yeah, that's why I do believe she could have a little bit of ADHD in there too.
Hey. Jen's in the zone. I hope she doesn't fall into the fire.
I've never seen her like this.
You know Jen, right? She never drinks.
She needs some food.
There's nothing around here but some empty chip bags. I could stand a burger. Deal. Come on, you'll feel better once you eat.
Feel better if Lexi's not following me around. Who invited her anyway?
I did.
Yeah? Well, she's spying on me. Well, maybe I wouldn't have to if you'd return my phone
Whoa,
call.
whoa, you guys are just way too intense. Yeah, give it up.
Look, just stop following me. You and I are not friends anymore, okay?
Jen, this is nuts.
Just leave me alone. I can take care of myself.
All right.
I really need to talk to you. I'm so sorry.
Don't you understand that I hate you? I never want to see you again. Okay?
All right, so what disorder do I think Lexi has from When Friendship Kills? I reviewed this movie like a year ago on my YouTube channel, but I've noticed some things in the movie, like when I rewatched it recently, that makes me think that Lexi actually isn't anorexic or bulimic. I think she may have a lesser known but way more dangerous eating disorder. This eating disorder is more dangerous than both anorexia and bulimia combined, which is called EDNOS, which means eating disorder not otherwise specified. Basically, it has symptoms of anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, binge eating, and also ARFID, which is avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. I think that Lexi has EDNOS because the symptoms she has is binging and purging, restricting eating, over-exercise, avoiding food, like avoiding even looking at it, counting calories, constantly weighing herself. And there's I highly recommend people look into EDNOS because there needs to be more awareness about that specific eating disorder. Same with ARFID, but especially EDNOS because EDNOS is far less known and it's not really represented in the media. Starving in Suburbia definitely put out all the wrong information about EDNOS. But I think When Friendship Kills definitely shows EDNOS in a really more realistic way. Well, back in the 80s or 90s, if you had symptoms of EDNOS, you would not be diagnosed with EDNOS because EDNOS was not really considered a diagnosis until 2012, I believe. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, but EDNOS is basically a mixture of anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating, and also a bit of OCD probably. But yeah, I think Lexi has EDNOS. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Star, and I'm out. Later.